Well, I'm joined by a man with one of the most sought-after positions in all of golf, because Gordon McKie here is the course manager of the Old Course in St Andrews. Lovely to see you again, Gordon. And catching you at such a busy time because, well, we're just a couple of months away from the 150th Open. How are things going at the moment for you?
Going very well, Scott. It's been really busy the last sort of couple of months, as you can imagine, but everything's sort of starting just to fall into place, and we're in a really good place at the moment, and really looking forward to the summer ahead.
And what sort of things are you looking to happen over the next 2 months, weather-wise and preparation-wise?
Yeah, we're really looking to get a bit of the weather to sort of flow our way. We could do with a bit of heat and get a bit of growth. It's been a really sort of cold, sort of dry start to the spring. We've had a wee bit of rain the last sort of couple of weeks, but we're just really looking to get everything going so we can really get that definition in the golf course and get it to where we really want it to be.
Mm-hmm. And you're a relaxed man anyway, but you're particularly relaxed because this isn't your first rodeo. It's your third Open as the head man, and you'll have seen most things before this year.
Yeah, this third Open Championship at St Andrews, so really proud and privileged to be doing this and looking forward to it. Being the 150th as well is just absolutely massive. It's going to be, people are telling me it's going to be the biggest golf tournament that has ever been staged, and we're all the staff are really looking forward to sort of getting this gig and getting it through.
Mm-hmm. And it's the 30th time it's been held here. Yeah. Not very many. It is in many ways it's a lot, but not in over 150 years. It's not. So it knows how to host an Open here. How has the course changed in the time you've been head man?
It's not changed that much. There's been a couple of wee things that have been done over the years, but it's generally just conditioning. Everything is generally the way it is. You don't want to play too much with history. You mentioned it's the 30th time it's been played here, but this is a very historic venue, laid out by Mother Nature, so we want to try and keep it like that and keep it in that same sort of condition as what it would have been many, many years ago when old Tom looked after it.
Mm-hmm. Now, I always say that the Old Course, it's defended by the fact that you can hide the pins away behind the bunkers, so you don't really need the length. But has there been any changes between the last Open here in 2015, is that right?
Yeah.
And this year, have you any lengthening of tees or anything going on since then? I know they did the one at the 17th a few years ago.
No, there's been no lengthening, no additional tees have been sort of moved in. The only thing that we're looking at this time is strategy, and we've done a bit of work with the rough. We've been roping off a lot of the rough for the last 3 years, just to try and protect it from traffic and trolleys and all that sort of thing. So that's the only real sort of change we really made. We're just toughening up the rough and looking more at strategy. And when it comes to the week itself, we'll probably look at pin positions and see if there's anything different that we can do. But we rely on the weather. The wind's blowing a wee bit here today. This is what we need. We need the weather to play in our hands. We need the wind to blow to really sort of help defend the golf course.
Now, you were telling me something quite remarkable just before we came on air, that you're the ninth man to have held this particular position. That must mean something on the most hallowed ground in golf.
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge honour. Something I never realised myself until I took the position on. The ninth person since old Tom Morris. Now that itself is something of great honour for me, for my family to do this. But who wouldn't want to do this job in a place like this?
Mm-hmm. And so, talking about old Tom, we've got middle-aged Gordon.
Yeah, that's me, middle-aged Gordon. Yeah, I've been doing it for a few years now. But still enjoy it. It's still one of the best jobs in the world, being outside in the fresh air. But it's just great. There's nothing else I want to do this, and nowhere else I want to be.
Now, you've been head man for the last 2 Opens here, but you've also worked here for more Opens than that as well.
Yeah, when I started here, just basically around about 97 I came here, so my first Open was in 2000, so I've obviously done 2000, 2005 prior to that, and then obviously the 3 since then in charge, so managing to put my own stamp on the golf course, because like any golf course it evolves.
Yes, yeah. And there's been a little bit of a change since the last one, because the link superintendent, Sandy's come over from Carnoustie. What's Sandy brought to the table? Are you able to merge the best of Carnoustie with the best of St Andrews?
Yeah, Sandy's been a breath of fresh air. I worked with Gordon Moyer previously for many years, and that was good as well. But when Sandy's come in with a different outlook to things and been very supportive of what we do here on the links, and so he's brought a lot to the table. Even today, he's been out there helping us out, doing a bit of work for us as well. So, no, Sandy's been really good and really just sort of let us go on with the job in hand.
Mm-hmm. You'll be one of the few guys to have had opens at two venues.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so so Sandy's obviously been at Carnoustie and now being at St Andrews. So that experience itself sort of helps a long way as well.
Now, I was thinking, going back to old Tom, way back in the whenever it would be 1800s, what piece of equipment that you're currently using do you think would blow his mind that he wasn't having in the days of the scythe and his and the horses?
Probably the thing that we're currently using in a lot of places is moving to the fully electric mowers would probably blow his mind. And rollers would have been something as well, but rollers is something that we're sort of backing away from now, just because of it can give us a lot of sort of inconsistency in data in terms of green speed. But I suppose that and the GPS technology it's about now. In terms of, we get sprayers and applying products through GPS technology. You get moisture meter readings as well, which is being brought into the decision making process and how you're setting the golf course up. So a lot of that technology sort of side of things would probably blow his mind. I think a lot of it he wouldn't agree with, but the technology's there, and we've embraced that technology for many years now, and it's certainly the way forward.
Now, you're a man that not only enjoys your Open on your home course at St Andrews, but I've known you since many years as part of the bigger Open support team, and there's one year that stands out more than most for you, isn't it, as an Open support team member?
Yes, I've been doing the Open support team since I was a young apprentice, starting in 1986. But my last and probably most famous one in my mind was 1999 at Carnoustie, where I did the privilege of being the last bunker raker in the final match on the Sunday with Mr. Van der Velde and Craig Parry. I think was the second chap in that game, and then I was lucky enough to be asked to do the playoff with Paul Lawrie. So to be there, walking that playoff holes with Paul Lawrie and ultimately a Scotsman winning the Open Championship on Scottish soil, I'd made the decision that was going to be my final soiree, so to speak, in terms of the Open support team. So it was a good way to sort of bow out.
And I know it was from John Van der Velde's perspective, it was a day they'll remember more than Paul Lawrie for different reasons. But you've since met John Van der Velde as well, is that right?
Yes, I had good fortune to basically do something very similar as I'm doing with you today. John Van der Velde was doing a documentary for a French travel programme, came to St Andrews and asked to play a couple of holes with me. At that time he didn't know really who I was, and we said off camera, I said, we've met before, Jean, and he says, where was that? And I says, I was your bunker raker in the final match at Carnoustie. So we had a chat and a wee chuckle about that and just talked about what actually unfolded on that afternoon. So but he's basically put it to the past, and he has a laugh about it himself.
Now, getting on to the week of the Open itself, can you just give me a little bit of background to how many people will be involved from your perspective, and length of day, and the old question of how many miles worth of greens are cut during the Open? Yeah,
it'll be obviously a very busy week, the week of the Open. We'll be roll calling about 4 a.m. in the morning to go out and set the golf course up. In terms of numbers, it's going to be very different this year. We're moving towards trying to be a lot more sustainable in how we set golf courses up. The last time the Open we had 65 to 70 staff. This Open we're going to have a maximum of about 50 staff, because we're now going to be using triple mowers on the greens, fully electric triple mowers as well. So that's where we're going to get sustainable. But long days, so in terms of finishing, probably get my bed around about 11 o'clock at night, back up at 4 o'clock, do that for 7-8 days. But it's thoroughly enjoyable, and all we do hope that is that the weather plays the way we want it to play, because there's nothing worse than having a wet, dreary Open and you're working long hours as well. So but thoroughly looking forward to it.
Yeah, and the point you're making about triple mowers on the greens, that takes away from the guys walk however many miles it was to cut the big double greens.
Yeah, it does, and a lot of people are maybe a bit disappointed in that fact, but in terms of what we're trying to achieve and how we achieve that, because the size of the greens are quite huge, 2.5 hectares of greens to cut, which would have taken sort of 12 men to do. a single cut. So to try and double cut the greens with it's going to mean we're going to need a lot more resources. So that was one of the reasons why behind we said we'll go with triple moors and be more sustainable, not only in the products that we're using but the manpower we're using. Because one of the things I was going to say is we just try to get a message out there that being sustainable and setting up how we set a golf course up for an Open Championship can be very similar to how any other greenkeeper can set their golf course up for their club championships.
Oh, that's very interesting. Presumably you'll have done the test. There's no drop off in quality using a hand mower and these new triples.
No, I mean you find that the triple mowers, that the actual weight of the units is, what do you call it, is heavier. So it's actually putting a lot more down pressure on, so effectively helps you to sort of get a better surface. But the main thing is it's because we're looking to double cut every morning, and to achieve that in the time frame that we have, that we felt that was one of the only options that we had to do that without having to go silly numbers in terms of staff and machinery, etc. So that's how we're planning to do it.
So you see yourself as an advocate for the more sustainable element. Are you going out giving that message to other course managers that you see, or is that something how is that message going across other than the 4 days of the Open in July?
Yeah, I mean, it's a message that we've always at St Andrews, we've always been very, very conscious about sustainability, about the environment, etc. But working with our partners, the machinery partners, Toro and the R&A, it's a message that we're hoping to get out this summer, that there is a sustainable way that you can do to maintain golf courses, not only for major tournaments but in any golf club is around the world.
Now you're talking about the pride you have in being the 9th course manager here in the Old Course. That pride must go through the roof when you're standing there on the 18th green on Sunday afternoon about 7 o'clock in the evening as the champions being presented with the trophy.
There's pride and there's relief, so there's a bit of relief that it's all over and it's finished, but there's a huge amount of pride standing there looking down at your golf course. You're seeing the announcement of the next major champion. It's probably going to be doubly more this time because it's the 150th, and it means so much to so many people. As I said earlier, from what people are telling us, this is going to be near enough the biggest golf tournament that's been on the planet, even surpassing Ryder Cups, etc. So huge honour, huge privilege, and I'm looking forward to it, and also looking forward to it when it's all over.
Now, talking about the size of the tournament, is that through television viewership or numbers through the gate? How are they measuring the fact it's going to be bigger than the last Open that was here?
Well, I mean, I think in terms of the numbers of tickets that have been sold, I think they're talking in the region of some 290,000 tickets have been sold, which will surpass the last total here at St Andrews, which I think was about 250,000. So that's absolutely huge, in terms of numbers that are coming here to see it. So it's going to be huge, and I think even just the television coverage and media coverage now that people are buying into this 150th huge anniversary. Obviously now the announcement that Tiger Woods is going to come as well, that's going to be massive for us as well, so really looking forward to that as well.
Oh, well, I'll let you get back to it, Gordon. So thank you very much for giving Turf Matters a little bit of your time today. I know we're 2 months away, but every minute matters, and you've got a lot of work to do. I'm sure it'll be a fantastic Open at the end of the day. So thank you very much again for giving us the time that you have today. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Scott.